In a world where everyone faces their own set of challenges, it is common for individuals to internalize their struggles rather than share them with others. The decision to remain silent about personal hardships is often misunderstood as indifference or emotional detachment, when in reality, it can be an act of self-preservation. Today, we're going to explore this journey of withdrawing from external validation, learning to heal alone, and ultimately finding strength and peace in silence. If you are anything like me, many of you refrain from discussing your problems, not because you are free from adversity, but because you recognize that everyone carries their own burdens. Out of a desire not to add to the collective weight, you choose to deal with your difficulties alone. This self-imposed solitude is often the result of repeated disappointments when reaching out for support. You recognize that often you were met only with indifference or insufficient understanding. Over time, the realization dawns that the only consistent source of strength is yourself. The initial instinct for many is to seek comfort from others, believing that opening up will elicit empathy and maybe provide some kind of help. However, after experiencing letdowns and unmet expectations, you may start to withdraw, building emotional walls and concealing your true feelings. This process is not about denying pain, but rather about learning to cope with it independently. By pretending not to be hurt, you gradually become resilient to external negativity. What once would have caused deep distress now barely registers as you adopt the mindset of, "It is what it is." Somewhere along the way, this journey leads to quietness, not from a lack of things to say, but from a conviction that expressing pain will not change the outcome. Silence becomes a conscious choice, a form of self-protection, and a means to conserve emotional energy. In this quiet, we often discover a unique kind of peace. The absence of noise is not emptiness, but rather a sanctuary where our thoughts can settle and clarity can emerge. Finding peace in silence is not about isolation for its own sake, but about reclaiming agency over your emotional well-being. By letting go of the need for external validation, you can cultivate an inner resilience that is not easily shaken by life's adversities. This quiet strength is subtle but powerful, providing stability and fortitude even in uncertain times. In solitude, there is an opportunity for self-reflection, healing, and the realization that true support often comes from within. This strength isn't loud or showy, but it carries you through each day. It's the kind that lets you stand firm when others falter, that holds you steady when the world feels uncertain. In the stillness, you realize that solitude isn't emptiness. It's a sanctuary you've built for yourself, where you're free from the weight of expectations and the sting of disappointment. Here, in your own company, you find clarity and the silent conviction that you can weather any storm, not by relying on others, but by trusting the quiet power within yourself. The decision to handle problems alone, to stop seeking understanding from others, and to embrace silence is a deeply personal and transformative journey. It is a testament to your very capacity for adaptation and growth. While the path may be lonely at times, it often leads to a profound sense of inner peace and self-reliance. In the end, those who find strength in silence discover that solitude is not a void, but a space filled with possibility, healing, and your own quiet power.